Okay, cool.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Future Justice Talks. I'm the 𝗓𝗓𝗢𝗓 student at 𝗔𝗕𝐻𝐂𝐄 Online Academy, and I love interviewing people, inspiring people, and learn from entrepreneurs who are building real impact. So today we have Max with us. Max help purpose-driven entrepreneurs build constant visibility so they can attract clients without feeling overwhelmed. He studied philosophy, music, and languages at Bishop's University, and he speaks multiple languages, including English, Spanish, German, and more. Max, welcome to Future Justice Talks, and I'm really excited to have you and learn from your journey. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing amazing.
Oh,
And
that's
how are
great.
you?
I'm fine. So, Max, without wasting time, let's move to our questions. So, Max, what inspired you to help purpose-driven entrepreneurs grow their visibility?
You know, I like to answer that question a little bit differently because I don't really see it as like inspired or like a choice. I think it was kind of like just what happened, with my life. And it started out I was a musician who hated anything about business as a teenager. I was like, my family's like, you should not do music. It's a hobby. You should do business and be a lawyer. And I was like, no, no way. No, 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 no. I don't want to do that. And they're like, go to school and, just have a corporate job. And that just sounded so horrible, you know? Um, and, and I always liked art and expression and actually like having real people. Um, can you still hear me? Because the video is okay. The video is freezing. Is it? Am I? Can you hear me? Still
Yeah,
talking?
I can hear.
Okay. Um, and basically, like I did go to university, and I studied, like you said, a bit of philosophy, but really what I studied was psychology, music, and German. But I went to school in a French place. I also learned French, and I graduated, and I was like, my first job was like dishwashing. Like literally, that was my first three jobs was dishwashing with a degree. Um, and because I was in a French place and I did not speak French at the time, that's how I learned French. And basically, I just learned like I music. I studied, yeah, but I learned a lot of music on my own. Like I said, I learned French working jobs like dishwashing and stuff. That's how I learned how to speak a whole language. Um, and I was just working jobs so that I could I don't know have money to have some time. And I thought I would do music and really have more time to make music. And what happened was I just kept working, and I'd work like five jobs at the same time, and so I felt trapped. And that's when I discovered entrepreneurship and coaching and self development, and it kind of showed me that there's other ways. To make this all short, basically, then my business journey took about 10 years to get to where I'm at. I did all these twists and turns and failures and this and that. Um, and a lot of what I do now is helping other people who have the same desire. They want to have more freedom, more impact, and they feel trapped by like the traditional like go to school, get a job. Like it works for some people for sure. I'm not saying that it's only bad to do that. School can be an amazing place. Jobs can be an amazing place for some people, but not for everybody, right? Some people they want more time, they want more control, they want more their brain is not designed for a job. Their brain is designed for ideas. Some people, and it doesn't matter what country you're from. It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. This applies to everybody, you know. Um, and essentially, since I'm that person and I've struggled so long, I mean, who else am I going to help? I know that world and that beginning place as well as the middle place so well, because ultra rich or anything. I'm still very much in my own journey, but I've come very far as well. And it just became like I said. I don't think I chose it. I think I always wanted to help people, and it's kind of like I'm climbing up the mountain, and other people are climbing the same mountain, and I'm kind of, instead of going to the top, I'm like, hey, this last part here is kind of difficult. Like, here, take my hand. I'll help you up this part. So I hope that answers your question.
Oh yeah, it really does, and it's so amazing. And also,
Mm.
music and philosophy are also my favorite subjects, but I never learned
Ah,
them or worked on them. So today is
interesting.
very much interesting and gonna inspiring for me. So moving to my next question, when you say constant visibility, so what does that really mean for a business owner?
Yeah, so I have a ton of frameworks and definitions for this, but I'm going to make this simple. Most people are avoiding actually talking to their audience and to their clients, and um, this can be people who already have a business or people who are brand new, because you can't sell something from your head. You cannot sell something from your own head. You have to sell something that people actually want. How do you can't find what people want from your bedroom, you know? Yeah, if you do deep research, you can get a bit of an idea. But when you actually have conversations with people, they're going to use different words, right? And so, we all can imagine that, like, the image of, the crazy inventor, someone who's just like the mad scientist who's like a crazy inventor, and they're inventing, but they're poor, they're broke. Well, it's because they're inventing things on their own ideas that actually nobody wants, even if it's the most amazing thing in the world, right? But like, so for example, with coaching, a lot of people, they try to do here's this amazing session or amazing course that I made. Um, you need it because of this. So then you're fighting people because you can have an amazing course, but if no one does it, no one buys it, no one takes it, even if it's for free, then it's just a course that you made. It's not active. Um, but if you ask people like, hey, you can have an idea of what you want to do. So for visibility, for example, I'd be like, hey, so what are your problems with visibility? And if I ask that to 100 people, they're going to say, oh, it's this, oh, it's this, it's this. And then I take that information and I mix it with my ideas. And I'm like, okay, actually, maybe they don't need a course. Maybe they need just someone to basically slap them on the face when they don't take action. Maybe they need a mini course and someone to ask questions to. Maybe they need a group. And so then I can create that, and they're going to say, oh, here's my problems, here's my problems. Um, and so what I think a lot of visibility is just that pure conversation part. That's why I gave that whole explanation. So many people are afraid. They'll post, they'll get over their fear of posting, but we all know that some people just post and post and post and post, and nothing happens, right? They get no likes, they get no comments, they get no sales, and then they get burnt out because it's not working. But you can use your posts to start conversations, and you can also just have conversations directly with people, messages like you and I, networking events, just on the street, maybe, who knows, right? Um, and that's where you're going to get, because I think visibility is like, yeah, how people see you, but it's also how you understand your own truth in your head. Your truth becomes visible in your heart, your soul, your mind. And if you're going to sell something, it has to be mutual, both you and your experiences and your audience. And I think one of the biggest gaps, so here's like sales and services and delivering impact, and here's like just you and your ideas. I think the gap is conversations. And so honestly, I define a lot of visibility as having conversations, being seen actually in the world of people. And that's a lot of what I
Wow.
help people do.
Wow, the conversations. Actually, it is interesting because I've never conversate with people in physical life. I feel like overwhelmed and nervous. Because
Mm,
we first time met them and we said like I actually have so much fear to talk to other people and like conversate with anyone else. But I'm gonna
mm.
like overcome this as soon as possible. So, as many entrepreneurs feel overwhelmed, what is the biggest mistake they make when trying to go online?
Well, this applies to what you just said as well. Um, so, for example, I'll answer that question by asking you a question first. So, you just identified a problem that you have fear talking to people in real life. Clearly, you don't have fear talking to people. You and I don't know each other. This is a pretty nice conversation. You're very confident in the interview. You got right to it. I feel comfortable with you. You clearly have this skill, which actually a lot of people do not have. They're like, hey there, how? So you're very strong in this interviewing, which I call it like holding space. So you're very good at that, and you just identified a problem, which tells me you have awareness of a problem. And this relates to people have awareness, they're overwhelmed, on some level, right? So now my question is, okay, so you have the problem of not talking to people in real life. You said, I'm going to solve that as soon as possible. Okay, well, I didn't hear any kind of plan or action plan. A lot of people say, yeah, I'll get healthy as soon as possible. And they don't do anything, right? We all know those people who've been saying, I'll be healthy for like 10 years, and they're still just as unhealthy as they were when they first said that. So here's my question is, you have a goal of wanting to talk to people, but you're here, scared. And here's you confident talking to people like you don't care. So what's in the middle? What action are you going to take? What could you take? And how can you make it small and maybe even fun? Because you want to start small. So, answer. And I'll build my answer based off of this. Like, how can you make this actually achievable where you won't fail? How can you make failure impossible?
So plan. Actually, I always made plans sometime at daytime and nighttime. So my plans never work. I cannot like work on long-term plans because it's so hard for me. I just do think in a week, like for a week, I do practice of the thing, and after that, I got tired. I don't want to do. I just want to do something new. So just
Interesting. So then let's make it even easier, because one thing that I've learned is we have too big of dreams. Like our dreams are too big, and then we get scared and we never do them. So it's like, what's the smallest action you can do today, like today, that would be relevant to that goal, that you cannot fail?
that action might be talking to a friend or talking to my cousins or someone else. Maybe that will help.
Sure. And it could be even smaller. It could be saying hi to, someone in your house. Are there people in your house with you?
I have actually 7 people in my house.
Okay. So I think you would not fail saying hi to one person.
Yeah.
And then if it's like someone that you don't know, what if it's not like go make a new connection, go make a new friend, but it's like, can you on the street or at a store, maybe it's even a store, like you're buying pasta, you're buying peppers or onions, and you just say, hi, I hope you have a nice day. Like that's probably pretty easy and not scary, right? Like, or how much does this cost?
Nothing.
And then it's like, well, can you do it? Okay, so can you do it to 3 people tomorrow? Can you ask
Wow. That's
something more?
amazing.
You know? So it's like very, very small. And I think, and I mean, think about this, I think you brought up a good point. Is people, they dream too big? Because it's good to dream big, but it's not the whole picture. I think you have to dream big and then act small. Because, I don't believe in massive action. Sometimes in self development, like you have to take massive action. You have to do big action. And I'll be honest, I think that is a road to burnout and overwhelm. What happens is when you say, like, let's say getting healthier. I used to be not super big, but like I used to be overweight for most of my life, and I lost a lot of weight. So, okay, I'm not going to run a marathon tomorrow to get healthy. Maybe I'll do one push up, or I'll take the stairs instead of the elevator, or I'll just walk to the end of the road and back. Okay, accomplished for today. So I'll do it again. And maybe after 2 weeks, I'll do a little bit more and a little bit more. And then suddenly that becomes a habit. And it's easier to add on and add on. And over time, maybe there'll be a day where, okay, since I already have the habit of exercising, now I'm going to do like 3 hours at the gym. So you could do, the massive action might come. It's just like when you're doing homework or something. Some days you study, wow, that was 8 hours. You can't do it every day, but sometimes you just have the energy and the momentum, right? And then you're usually tired the next day. That's why I think it's bad to do that when it's forced. But it's kind of like the magic happens when you go very, very small. And so, for starting conversations, it's like, can you send a message to one person, just say hi? Okay, then do it again tomorrow. Then do it again tomorrow. Okay, then say hi, how are you? Asking a question. Do it again. Do it again. And eventually you'll have conversations and you can ask more interesting questions. And then, if you're a business person, you're going to have some kind of offer. It could be, hey, do you want to hop on an interview with me, like you asked, and then you'll be like, hey, can I ask you questions about, my market, my business, so I can have information. And eventually you get to do bigger and bigger questions. And I think you have to dream big and act small, but consistent. And you build your way up. It's like you build your muscles, And a lot of people, they are not patient. And they want it now. And so I think that's impossible. You have to dream big and say, I'm not going to have it now, but I'm going to take a small action now, so I'm not doing nothing. And I think that relates to overwhelm and burnout, and especially building businesses. There's no other way.
Wow, it's literally so amazing how you told me, and I actually feel motivated. And I will be gonna take the more steps now. While you were answering, I was thinking that I need to correct this, and this and that. Yeah, it's really amazing. So, moving to the next question, how
Can I
does
say
your
one thing?
background? Yeah, sure.
I want to say one thing. So you thought of some things to correct.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it now, but you want to think, what is the smallest thing I can do today to correct that? Don't solve it today, but what's the smallest possible action?
Yeah, it's true.
Mm.
So I will start taking the first step and move to the next. Like I need to message, then I need to follow up, and many more. Yeah, like that.
Yeah. So just start with one.
Yeah.
Start with one.
Sure. I actually have a goal. I need to complete in next 1 month, and that's so much hard. I'm working on it every moment. I'm just free. So that this your answer may help me too much. Yeah, thank you. So now moving to my next question, as how does your background in philosophy help you understand clients and marketing better?
It's an interesting question. I wouldn't say I really have a background in philosophy on like a school level, something official. Technically in university I studied liberal arts for 1 year, which included some philosophy classes. I think it's more a way of thinking. where I I tend to be, and I almost think it's kind of like artistic too. Like I like to explore. So when I move to a new neighborhood, within 1 month, I've already walked or biked or jogged or something on like every possible street, and I just like to, oh, here's a new street, like just go down, you know. Um, and so I think it's quite similar with business. It's like I'll try all these different ways. Now sometimes that's not good if you need a quick result, um, or you can be thinking too big. So um, I would just say like I think big picture sometimes mixed with the small picture, like what can we do now, um, and like who is this person. But I mean, there is, no matter how simple you get, there's always complexity to life. There's complexity to the human brain. It's actually something that will never be fully understood, And a lot of, I mean, I study psychology too, which is quite philosophical as well, by the way, And a lot of psychology is like theories. It's not like proven, like biology is more proven, right? More so. Math is proven more so. But like psychology, there's a lot of feeling and intuition. And like there could be a truth for me that I know that for you is like completely different, you know? But that's your truth. And it's true for you. And mine is true for me. But there could be no proof. And maybe it doesn't work for science. I mean, there's people who have climbed snowy mountains with like a shirt, like a t-shirt, and science can't prove how they can do it when everyone else would die. You know, so I think it's just to really answer your question more direct, questioning things. And so when someone tells me something is true, um, I like to kind of test it to my own experience, maybe my own sources of information, and other people, because I don't 100% think there's always a single objective truth to things. I think we all experience our own version of things, and also that that's beautiful, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So when it comes to business and work, um, it's like I could teach you a marketing strategy, and maybe it actually doesn't really work for you, certain actions. So there's two things. Maybe I give you a different explanation of those same actions, and it clicks in your head different. And you're like, okay, got it. Or maybe for you, you need different actions. Is one right or wrong? Well, no, not inherently, not 100% right or wrong. It's different. Maybe in 2 years, you're going to be a different version of yourself, and you'll have a new truth, a new. So I think a lot of it comes down to asking questions and asking good questions. I had a coach tell me the quality of your life depends on the quality of questions that you ask yourself.
It's so deep. Yeah, I want to do it. Actually, amazing. So now moving to my favorite question of languages. I actually love learning languages, and I'm doing right now, but it's hard. And yeah, but I'm doing a little bit. So you speak several languages. Does speaking multiple languages change the way you connect with people?
100%. And I think even before languages, like I do music, which is music, art is a language. Um, and I actually think that skills are kind of metaphorically like languages too. Like, do you speak the language of basketball? Do you speak the language of couscous, couscous preparation? Do you speak the language of traveling? Do you speak the language of fashion? And then there's different types of fashion. I'm sure even where you live, the city 2 hours away has a slightly different fashion than where you live. like that's how it works. Like, it might be a tiny difference, but it's like a little bit of a difference. But certainly, even before I learned other, verbal languages, um, I always, in my home city, there was always people from all over the world, like refugees and immigrants and stuff. It was like a city for relocation of refugees. So it was always really natural for me to connect with other people. Like I'm American. I grew up in the States, but even my mom is Canadian and my dad is American. So there's a little difference there, and it was enough to be different from the other kids. And I always found other people nice, and I actually think since there's some words that might exist in one language but not in another, kind of think so. Like English, it's like you have glasses, right? Your brain thinks in a certain way with English, and it's kind of like so I have bad eyes. So the computer in front of me is not clear right now. So now I put on the glasses, I see it good. But the computer didn't actually change. But my perception changed. And so I think languages are kind of like that. Like you see, like I'm sure you speak multiple languages as well, right? Probably better than me. Um, and you probably express yourself differently in different languages. And maybe your brain thinks differently in different languages. And then if you meet someone who maybe they don't even speak English, you can't speak anything in common, you're going to have to express yourself differently, maybe with your body more, and that'll be an interesting experience.
Yeah, amazing. So, Max, as you are a musician, and actually, I also love music. So, relating music, I want to ask, what does music actually mean to you, and how did you learn the music?
That's a really deep question. Um, on a really deep level, I think everything in the universe vibrates, you know, and music is just vibration. And so, in that sense, it's just a more organized vibration. You can use music to heal your body. You can use music to connect to things on a spiritual or religious level. You can use music to communicate to another person or even yourself in a way that words cannot, you know. And so there's many aspects of it that I see. In English the word tool. So how would you define the word tool? Like, what's the definition?
Tool for me is the tool um, to fix things. Like we have uh, tools to fix things, or for magnesians, they are mostly.
Yeah. And so it's like I think one of the simplest definitions for tool is an extension of the body. And it's to accomplish a task that the body cannot. And so if I have a nail, a metal nail, I want to hammer it in, we use a metal hammer because it would actually break our skin, right? So the tool, the hammer is an extension of our body. And so music is an extension of our spirit or our body. Like the guitar is a tool for expressing things that my saxophone cannot. Same with a piano. And singing, well, that's the body. You don't need an instrument for singing, but it's like an extension of your voice, extension of your spirit. And music it's like organized the vibration. And I even think music is how I experience life. Because we say, oh, today was a fast-paced day. Today was a slow day. Wow, uh, New York City has a different rhythm than than Tokyo. So we say music and rhythm and um, you know all of these things. That's music. Like there's music to our life. We can live our life like a piece of music. And even with our voice, I could tell if you are angry or excited by the melody of your voice. You could say the same word like hi, hi. It's like a different pitch, like a different note. And that alone, forget the word hi, that pitch is communication. And so, for example, what does the sound of your life sound like? Someone who's depressed, you can imagine, is going to be different than someone who's excited all the time. And so bring that to business, right? What do you want the music of your business to be? Of your habits? So I think it's all connected.
Yeah, wow, it's so lovely and amazing. So, Mark, moving to our last question. If you could leave the world with one idea or one message about life, so what would people want to remember?
It's a good question. Mm. Well, the first thing that came up, I say this in all of my content, is commit, then move. And so what that means is it's really relevant to people who think a lot, who their brains go crazy, and it's like, ooh, should I wear the red or the orange? Should I have the apple or the banana? Should I go for a walk at 5 p.m. or at 12 p.m.? Should I start this business or that? Okay, nothing happens unless you just commit to something and then you take action, because everything is about action. Imagine the person who just thinks about everything and they never do anything. They never do anything. They can have the best ideas in the world, and it actually doesn't matter. It won't impact anything. It's better than not having the idea at all, but action is the only thing that manifests things into the world. Action is the only thing that matters. And action comes from a commitment and from intention, you know? And so a lot of people act without intention. They don't know why they're doing something. What that leads to, I think, is very short-term gratification, short-term results, and you often get burnt out or you're sad or things just aren't working. But when you make a real commitment and then you act on that commitment, you might have slow results, but they'll last longer and they'll stay, which actually makes them fast results, because if you get quick results but they don't stay, then you're always rebuilding. And one more thing I'm going to add to that, which might make it more sense. One of the first self-development courses I took, the coach, it was a group course, and the coach said this. So a lot of people wait to take action until they make a great decision. They think they're going to make the great decision. But we have to trust in ourselves. And if, trust in God, trust in something bigger too, like a guiding force. But you have to trust in yourself too. And actually, it doesn't matter what decision you make. You could make the worst decision in the world. It's what you do after. Because, can you define the word perfection? It actually doesn't exist. Sometimes perfection is being imperfect, because you'll never be the perfect version of you. That's absolutely impossible. So what this other coach said was, it's not about making a great decision. It's about first making a decision and then making it great, which I think relates to commit, then move. And so I think that could be one of the things I want to leave people with.
Amazing, Max. It really touched me, and that's a great, it's a great advice. So, Max, thank you so much for joining me. This talk. It was really great to listen, and I pray that it can change my life and relating to that person. Yeah. So thank you so much, and I'm sure the audience have learned a lot of experiments. To everyone listening, please make sure and learn about support about. So next, it's honor to having you today. Thank you for your time and wisdom. So
Yes. Thank you very much. This has been really fun, and I look forward to keeping in touch.
thank you so much. Take care.